Hello, DCO Life Preserver Club members. I'm Joy Wassel. I'm the Executive Director of DCO, and I'm here today with Jane Cook, one of your fellow Life Preserver members. You know Jane because you received a gift from us, the Treasure Principle book, and a letter from Jane, and she shared her story in that letter of how she got to become involved with DCO through just a simple request for volunteers to help us with one of our events. And Jane has an incredible story of involvement with DCO, and she's one of our Life Preserver members along with all of you getting this video. We wanted to come to you through a video rather than always coming through print media or a letter, just to let you know how much we appreciate you and how much a part of DCO you are. Whether you know this or not, you are our most important group of folks who are able to sustain our ministry, especially during times like we've all been through these last few months, where income and donations and tithes to churches have all been in question. Many of us have been financially impacted through our work, through money that we had counted on not being there. And so in those uncertain times, the ability to know that we had a set amount of money coming in every month allowed us to do some of the things that I'm going to share with you that Jane and I have been sitting here talking about in the office for a few moments. And we want to come to you periodically like this. And maybe I'm going to reach out to one of you guys and ask you to be the next one to sit in here with me, just like Jane is today. And we're going to talk about your story or what you thought was very interesting. And one of the things Jane asked me today that we've been talking about was whether or not we were able to go into the school. So Jane, tell them what your thoughts were about that.
I just know from all we hear on the news and what's going on with our grandkids and so on, I was very, very surprised, so pleasantly surprised to know that they are able to be in the schools now. It's hard for all of us that aren't exactly in a school to know what else is going on. We just hear of all this virtual learning and staggered learning and so on, and didn't think it was going to be possible yet for them to be in, and I am just thrilled to know that they are definitely there.
Yes, we are. And that's only because of you, because this summer, we were in question, as well as many people were, about what school was going to look like when fall came back, and are the kids actually going to be able to go back to school? And we read the CDC guidelines with great dismay because it said parents, volunteers, outside organizations, anybody not on staff of the school would not be allowed into the schools that were going to open. So we knew immediately that we needed to adjust and become adaptable. And because of the sustainable monthly support that all of you provide, we were able to invest the time and the resources to adapt our curriculum to models that many of us have become familiar with through Zoom. A lot of Bible studies are done through Zoom. And so we were able to adapt our curriculum to something called Google Classroom. And so if we can't be there live in the classroom, which we are, Jane and I talked about that, we're in a lot of schools live, just like we've always been, with personal protective equipment, masks and shields, but we're still live. We had our first live presentation this week at White House Middle School. So we're able to do that in many cases, but where we can't go, then we use the Google Classroom. We invested the money to buy Google Chromebooks for our 5 regions, and we've watched webinars, and we know exactly how to deliver our programs live through Google. The students can see us in real time, we can see them, they can ask us questions, and it's second best to being live in the classroom in person. And this third tier of method that we use to go into the classroom is we videotaped. That took a lot of time and financial resources to get all of our programs actually videotaped. And so for a teacher that needs to send it out to a student who's virtual and may not have access to the Google Classroom, then she has our videos. If it's a Healthy Boundaries class for a middle school student, she can send that video out, and the student has access to see our program and to get the resources that we teach in the classroom. So thanks to you for that sustainable monthly income that I'm not sure we would have been able to do this. I don't know that we would have been able to be as flexible as quickly as we did. So for that reason, this group of people, the Life Preserver Club, those of you who donate monthly, and it doesn't matter what the amount is, each one of you are equally important, because the aggregate amount is what helps us every month to know that we can depend on this amount of money. And so we would like to see this club double in the next year. So if you have folks that know about DCO that have been to one of our events, that sat at your table, maybe you invite them to become a member of the Life Preserver Club and help us. We don't know how long we're going to be in this virtual world of doing events. We had hoped by fall that we would be able to go back and do a live in-person event in Robertson County, and I'm sure we would have called on your group to help us out there. We were going to do a live in-person event in Williamson County. So those are now going to virtual events, and you're going to be receiving these emails with the virtual link, just like you did for our April event. And we want you to know that the reason you're receiving that link is because we want you to share this story, this video, with those folks that you know from church or family or neighborhood that maybe know a little bit about DCO, or maybe they don't know anything about DCO, but you know them and you know that they would care about what we're doing. And so Jane's already given us some ideas of the people she's going to send the video out to. So that's why we're sending you these videos, is we want you to know what's going on inside DCO in real time. So we'll probably come to you once a month and do this, but I wanted to answer the question about what we've been doing this summer and what we are delivering to the classrooms literally this week in Sumner County and in many other counties across Tennessee. And so we're asking for your prayers over our staff, over the youth in the schools, over the teachers in the classrooms. They have a huge load to bear. And so we want to ask you to pray for them.